check. Error. It's now 1-2. Go to 2, then if it's ready, yeah, if it's ready.
They're breaking.
There you go. What chemicals? Now we go back, eh? Okay, now it's live. A second.
A very good evening, Africa. This is the ATA revolution of African pool. Call it African sport. Today, this rainy and cold Wednesday evening in the city of Kampala, the suburb of Machinde, is Climax Bar and Restaurant, a place which is now a hub for the sport competitively in the country. It is the host of a battle, history in the making, televised, online, and otherwise. Caesar Chandiga and Ibrahim Ssejjemba, two of the best players, not just in Uganda, but also on the entire African continent, are deciding, with the permission from their management teams, the Advanced Talent Agency and the Team Roxbury, Team Money Made, to have a trilogy, 3 series of money matches that are being organized across 4 days. Today, Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, at the same venue, and as well as Saturday at Addis Sport in Kampala. $6,000 total pot, with each match having a worth of $2,000, and this is one of them. It is Ibra versus Caesar, a race to 21 for $2,000 today. Action that is expected to happen for about the next 4 hours, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, depending on how fast they will be, depending on the winning margin of whoever is the victor. This all started out as an effect of Ibrahim Ssejjemba believing that he has returned to his best form, inviting every player who knows how to hold a pool stick on the African continent to money matches at venues and stake as agreed. So far, he has gotten 3 people responding to his plea. The first 2 are down. Banika Mansour was beaten 21-14 right here. Rashid Wagaba Dog City, just 1 week later, was beaten 21-12 at a place not a long distance from here that is called Amigos Kampala Pool Arena. And yet Caesar Chandiga's management decided to make it a little bit bigger and better and longer and better scheduled and better organized with everything that you can call the best ever organized match in the history of African pool. As Ibra fouls, this is the start of the trilogy. 3 money matches across 4 days. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday. This one is only the start. A match that started unfortunately, or will I say a frame that started unfortunately with Caesar fouling on the break. Is having a return of the same favor from his opponent Ibrahim Ssejjemba, who has also fouled in the course of play. Once again, Caesar nil and Ibra nil. To take you through this commentary in audio and video on behalf of the Advanced Talent Agency, my name is Simon Peter Chove. Please stay tuned. Enjoy. Live commentary is resuming shortly. It is quite clear that both of these players are not starting in their best vein of form. You will definitely get to be seeing their very best as the match grows bigger and older and longer. Of course, each of them is presumably the other's biggest opponent. Something that has been seen in history too, of players that have faced off some of the most number of times, because of course many a times they go further in most of the tournaments. Many times they've faced off in the semis, in the finals, and even in the lower stages of tournaments. Every time that they have faced off, it has been 2 players on a 3'5" pool table, and yet an entire continent catching a cold because they are simply sneezing in a way of shooting balls. This guy on table, Ibrahim Ssejjemba, at the age of 25, is without a shadow of a doubt one of the best players, not just in Uganda but also on the entire African continent. He did come to the limelight a good number of years ago. By 2013, he was a trainee with a pool club that was called Mambule in the Ugandan Pool League, because the league was then sponsored by a beverage company. It was only for players who were of beverage age, that is beer age. He was not allowed to play. When Pilsner Lager Company moved out of Ugandan pool, when their contract with the Polar Station of Uganda did expire the following year, he was signed up by Capital Knight Pool Club, a team that up to present day still exists in the Ugandan Pool League. Already a mature player in terms of how he played, although he was a young man, immediately became the best player in the team, something he did maintain for a next series of years, to the effect that 3 years later, he did help the team win their first and only league title to present date, the Senior Pool League of 2017. Not only did he win it, he was joint top scorer alongside then national team captain in Alfred Gomikiza, the guy that is nicknamed Black Sheep. His career went on blossoming on and on and on, winning his first ever competition, a 64-man comp that was organized in the district of Mityana in central Uganda, playing as good as he has played his yellow off the red and getting the white ball perfect for his first win, most definitely, of the frame. Yes, no mistake made. He leads now 1-0. A guy that won his very first comp in 2017, and yet 7 years later, he is still a top player, not just in his country, but also in the entire African continent. Just at the onset, on this onset of COVID, he moved to the country of Zambia, outside his Ugandan boundaries, for the very first time to participate in a competition that had 64 players from East and Southern Africa, organized in the city of Lusaka by Billiards Cafe, sponsored by Matthew Ngulube. It was called the Matthew Ngulube Open Pool Championship, which did have 1,000 Zambian kwacha. For the winner, a prize that he won after shocking everybody, including himself, including his victim in the final, Victor Sinyenza, by lifting that competition, becoming the first and only Ugandan at the time ever to win a major competition outside the Ugandan soil. He was able to replicate his own achievement when he did win the Grand Mchana Open, an even bigger competition that had the best players from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Eswatini, South Sudan, amongst others. He was able to overcome about 3 Kenyans, 2 Ugandans, 1 Zimbabwean, 1 Tanzanian, and 1 South Africa along the way, as he did win the Grand Mchana Open Championship, a tournament he holds to present date worth $5,000 in the final. I remember him taking down Cornelius Kigen in the first round. Kenyan, he did take down Kelvin Stoway, Kenyan, in the second round. Round of last 32 saw him beat then African champion and seed number 1 Aiden Joseph. Round of last 16, it did see him take down Ugandan Senyonjo Glorious. Another Ugandan, Simon Lubola, was taken down by the same Ibra in the quarterfinals. The semifinals did see him take down Malvan Mokwanza from Zimbabwe, and then he beat Tanzania's Saif Hamad in the final to clinch the $5,000. He's also credited for winning 2 calendar events organized by the Pole Association of Uganda Single Venue Championships. That was the Easter Cup in 2018, as well as the King of the Table Championship in 2022, just after returning from playing semi-professional pool with Sharks Pool Club in the Zambian Pool League in 2022. Since returning to the country, he has won himself a number of events, weekly comps, money matches, battles. Very hardly does he lose a money match. He has taken down majority of the top Ugandan players in the recent past. Alfred Gomikiriza, Amos Ndiagomanoe, Turije Jonah, Joseph Kasozi, Bwanika Mansur, Lubulwa Simon, Ibrahim Kayanja, Rashid Wagaba, Dog City, all going prey to Ibrahim Ssejjemba. The one and only player he has not yet beaten in a money match is the one player with whom they've only faced off once in a money match. That was organized also in a race to 21 last year at Beverly Hills in Kampala. With $3,000 to win for the winner at the time, it ended 21-18. It was Caesar who won the day. Caesar himself, a product of the West Nile region of northwestern Uganda, having been discovered in the district of Lira, where he was a trainee at Capital Pub, one of the more fond venues where the sport is played in that area. In 2016, he did partake in the Nile Special National Open Championship, Uganda's biggest comp, the car competition, qualifying from Lira and playing in the grand finals for the very first time as a very young man, a boy at that time. He then moved further north of Uganda to the city of Gulu, where he was adopted by the Gulu Pool fraternity after impressing as a trainee in the district of Lira, the Guru Pool fraternity started moving him to Kampala to participate in tournaments that were organized by the Polo Station of Uganda. And in 2018, he came of age when he reached the Easter Cup Championships that were organized in Kasubi. In Kampala, he reached the semi-finals. I remember him being beaten by eventual first runner-up, Lubola Simon, the computer, in that semi-final. But since then, he was signed up by CKI Pool Club, a team in the National Pool League of the Polo Station of Uganda, only for one half season in 2019, before he joined Ron's Pool Club in the eastern city of Jinja, only for 1 year. And by the onset of COVID, just like Ibra had done in the past, Ssejjemba moved to Zambia to participate in the East and Southern African Pool Championships, as Ibra is playing black for the second time in the match, trying to put the same ball at the same pocket with the same result. He leads 2-0 as we speak in a race to 21. Two players that are part of each other's journey. Ibra getting his shine by winning a tournament in Zambia. Ssejjemba doing the same 2 years later, moving to Zambia to participate in the Eastern Southern African Pool Championships, a comp in which he was defeated in the quarterfinals of his second life, but impressed a lot as he was so unknown, and yet he did take down some of the bigger Zambian kingpins in Moses Mofia, and Edward Kateta. These soldier performances which did preempt the director of Sharks Pool Club in the Zambian Pool League, Zahid Monshi, to sign Ssejjemba for his services, becoming the first and only Ugandan ever to play semi-professional pool. When he was in Zambia, he was without a shadow of a doubt the best player in that country, winning about 26 weekly comps between 2020 to 2022. Of course, he did return to the country at the end of the year, alongside Ibra, who had joined him in the same club later in their stay. And their rivalry proceeded with where it had gone on when they had just left Uganda. The two have been close friends, but bitter rivals, especially on the table. They've faced off since then a number of times with fair results between themselves, a fair share of victories between themselves. The finals of the beginning of their championship in 2023, 1st January, in the district of Masaka, racing to 9, it did end in 9-5 with Ssejjemba defeating Ibra. Double elimination competition that was organized at Upper Volta in Kasubi the following year, 2023. Ssejjemba did take down both of Ibra's lives to win the competition. The same exact fate he did earlier this year, defending his competition successfully, taking down Ibra in the same way. Ibra has also had a good number of victories over Ssejjemba, another double elimination competition that was organized at Upper Volta, at Amigos in Kampala. Short race to 5, which did end 5-3, Ibra winning. A 16-man comp that was organized at Dice Lounge late last year. They did face off in the final, Ibra winning quite convincingly, 13-7. Double elimination competition that was organized at Queen's Sports Club in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. It was the double elimination competition last year that was organized at Billiards Cafe in Lusaka. Both of Ssejjemba's lives were taken down by Ibra, but this game has been taken down by Ssejjemba, who now pulls one back. Amid the simulations from his fans, it is now 2-1. The very last times these two guys have faced off have been 3 in quick succession, all in the space of 3 weeks. The most recent of them being just 2 weeks ago. They were 3 weekly comps organized in Kamocha at the Kamocha Pool Center and at the Kampala Pool Arena and Amigos respectively. On all 3 occasions, it was Ibra who did take down Ssejjemba. And it is one of the reasons why we are having these 3 matches that have been dubbed the Trilogy. The management teams of both of these players and the players themselves believe that after these 3 games, these 3 matches, these 3 races, we shall have gotten a total difference. Maybe one of them will have beaten the other, maybe to desperation, to the effect that they will never apply to play with them again. And once again, it is Ibra 2 and Ssejjemba 1 in a race to 21. Our apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Our videography team is working on graphics to have scoreboard, a scoreboard at the lower third of your stream. Most definitely, in not so much time, you will have a scoreboard. And how about that? Sometimes this guy just gets you by surprise. I didn't see that coming. I thought he was contemplating whether to play the red ball to that same corner pocket bottom left of your screen. The guy saw a way in which he could play his red off the yellow. Had he potted it, it would have been so magical. That is why I say that sometimes, given the stuff that we see from these players, it is only worth it that you watch them for a little pay, especially if most of that pay is going directly to these guys. Thank you for all of you who have subscribed to the ATA platform to watch these guys play. Now this is Ssejjemba trying to play master shot, carving the white ball round the yellow. He fouls, he misses, and gives an opportunity to Ibra to go 3-1 up. The one and only time that these guys have faced off in a long race did end in Ssejjemba's favor. But it was a close call, that one. Last year at Beverly Hills in Kansanga, it did end 21-18. This one could be even better. And while Ssejjemba has been so dominant on fellow players, winning over 40 competitions ever since returning from Zambia, late 2022, Ibra remains a very good long racer. Very rarely loses in long races, in battles. He did come, Ibra, to the limelight by deciding to handicap everybody in the country of Uganda besides 4 players. Maybe for respect, maybe because they were his friends, maybe he had some little fear for them. It was Mansour and Ssejjemba and Joseph Kasoze and Geoffrey Ssejjemba, the guy that was then nicknamed Fire. The rest of the Ugandans, a good 24 million of them at the time, he did tell them that they were free to play with him at a venue of their choice for a stake of their choice, handicapping them with that no black offer, where you're supposed to put only your object balls, the reds or the yellows, and don't even dare to touch the black, and you will have won the game. And believe you me, he beat most of them, except a few, like Habib Sebuguzi, now the national team captain, and another stubborn guy who is called Ivan Morunji. Many other top players did fall prey. In this frame, Caesar could fall prey. In this frame, most likely, Ibra, very rarely, very seldom, can fail to finish a game as good as this yellow game. Today he's deciding to be very calm and very composed and yet very deadly. He's trying to make it victory over season number 4 out of 4, something that is so unprecedented. And that he looks in good shape to try and do it, much as the majority of the fans at the venue seem to be Caesar fans. Ibra is having none of that as he's up against the black for the third time in the match and now leads 3-1. Just like that, it is now 3-2. It is one of those times when sometimes I just give you a few seconds to watch how good these guys I always tell you are. To watch them demonstrate it, to let you watch it without some of the interference of my commentary. Just give us more of your audience. This one is very worthwhile watching. The nerves that these players did have at the start of the match seem starting to disappear. Like I did say, this is one match that could be separated by the breaks. This time, it is a dry break from the killer. In the meantime, special thanks to the Advanced Talent Agency for ensuring that this is having a successful start. At the venue climax, anywhere between 300 and 400 people are enjoying this game. Online, I'm yet to ascertain. One thing I know is that whoever watching this match at the comfort of their home has paid willingly their 1.5 US dollars. Caesar seems not exactly happy with himself. While he's about to play a ball that could take him at equal terms with his opponent for the first time in the match, it will be no problem. Maybe as expected. And how about the facility of watching replays of some of those beautiful shots as they are played in the match? Isn't that beautiful? As we welcome graphics for the first time in this match, we also welcome a match at even scores for the first time since the start of the race. It is 3-3 for now. For just a brief moment, just ignore the scores, the graphics, as they are now corrected. Climax is pretty much full to capacity. The match is now starting to live to its hype. The players are starting to perform to their supposed best. We are now having apples. Just 6 games played. This is the 7th. We have already seen the mistakes and the brilliances and nerves and clearances of either of the players. This time it is the little magician in Ssejjemba who is seemingly about to utilize a foul from Caesar to get a 4th. At this venue where we are, Ssejjemba has never ever lost a money match. It is at this venue where he did beat Bwanika Mansour around 3 weeks ago. But most importantly, it is at this venue that he did take down South Africa's Jeremiah Naido in even better fashion. Or will I say better fashion? A match that ended 21-15 with, yes, the same stake $2,000 US. A beautiful way in which Caesar plays the white ball off to cushions with big spin on it, finding the yellow. The entertainment is there. I am not so sure that he will be happy with the resulting positioning of his yellow in comparison to Ibra's reds and the white ball. It is still advantage Ibra. A miss, an unexpected miss. I'm not so sure that I could predict what Caesar could do here. The distance between the white ball and the yellow and the positioning of the balls around the yellow on both sides doesn't favor Caesar at all. Goes for a bank shot. My goodness. I didn't see that coming, not at all. But with these guys, whatever you could have as a thought as a commentator sometimes doesn't matter. And he follows it up with the pot of the black ball. He follows it up with a lead for the very first time in the match. And applause from the fans, most of whom seem to be supporting Caesar for tonight. Almost of those who have attended this match here at Climax Bar in Kampala, Caesar 4 and Ibra 3. As we enjoy the replays and how beautiful it is that we are watching this for the very first time in African pool replays as the match is ongoing, especially of the beautiful shots. Caesar will go through the arena as it is, as a norm, as a culture among Ugandan fans. They reward their players. They appreciate their performance with tips, with monies and noise, chanting their name. confirmed. The little magician is playing the yellows. Legendary Ugandan player Fahad Sewankamba once told me in a little discussion that the easiest way of winning a match or the easiest way of winning a game, a single frame, is by break and finish. Then I asked him why. Because in my thoughts, it is the hardest way, because not everybody can break and finish. Most of the times it is done by top players. Then he told me that it is because it is the only way that you can win, by not giving your opponent a chance to play, not letting him disturb you at all. You just win your frame and let him rooted at his seat. The easiest way of these players trying to beat each other is by break and finish. That is why it is very important that they put a ball on the break, that they get a fair split of the balls, that they play a color of balls that is well separated, well on the table. I'm not so sure that this yellow game of Ibra would qualify in that category. And he's rightly playing a defensive safety shot. He gets it all wrong. He fouls. Umpire Farida naturally rightly calls a foul. Caesar has a chance to have a 2-game cushion here. There we are. And I want to think that it was a concentration lapse, because this table has been worked on, planted today by the best technician in the country. And before the match started, both players did have 30 minutes apiece filling the table. And the match was only given a green light when both of the players said that they loved the condition of this table. I therefore do believe that that foul did come not because of anything to do with balance, but because of a concentration lapse from Ibra. And it is seemingly likely that Caesar could take him down here. Pot the red ball to the corner pocket right now on the bottom left. White ball stops almost where the red is. Just like that. And then draw the white ball almost the entire length of the table towards the top end of the table. Just like that. There we go. No prize for guessing what is about to come next, like he normally does, punishing players for fouling. Caesar now leads 5-3. From the amount of games that I have seen this guy playing, the guy whose face is occupying your screen right now, I came to a personal conviction that one of the worst versions of Caesar you will ever want to face off as a player is the Caesar who has a score to settle. I do believe that Ibra has the ability and the psychological fortitude to take down Caesar in a long race. It is just that sometimes Caesar is a little too much. But that shot was not too much. Not at all. And when you are a player, a game like this one is one that you will feel happy to win if you're Ibra. who is now asking the umpire whether or not the table is open. He wants just to be sure that the red balls that he wants to play are there for the taking. The match has two umpires, both qualified umpires of the Pool Association of Uganda, a male and a female. Umpire Henry Joko did advise that the table had been closed by Caesar Ibra deciding to play the yellows. After taking more time than the umpire's liking, umpire did warn Ibra of the amount of time that was left, and Ibra was not able to concentrate enough to put a ball that was a little bit tricky, allowing Caesar back in a frame. I thought Caesar was probably not winning, and that was the big miss by Ibra. Once again, special thanks not only to the Advanced Talent Agency, but also the management teams of both of these players. From wherever you're watching, Mr. Zach Idiro, the regional manager of the Bank of Africa in Uganda, Ibra's manager. The guy whom, for him, a risk of money to lose, and yet for us, entertainment as lovers of the game. Not just here in the country of Uganda where it is all happening, but also the entire African continent where they are enjoying, most especially for a fee which will be split between the players after removal of the expenses of production. That was a little cheat of the pocket that we call it in pool. Cheat the pocket a little. And then a ball that was seemingly unportable in a way. He's making a little steps, Caesar. With each shot that he takes, with each block that he puts, as the lead tries to go bigger right now, Caesar is becoming dangerously playable right now. After going 2 games down, 3-1 down, it was at one time Ibra leading. Caesar has responded with 4 consecutive games of his own. He now leads 5-3. And as if the 3 games with which Caesar is leading against Ibra after 9 frames played are not enough, Ibra's current misery is compounded by fouling on the break. Something that looks not healthy at all, especially when your opponent is Caesar. That one will be a free shot. It leaves Caesar with a second chance to play. It would still have left an open table even if he had potted the red ball. In black ball rules, when the table is open, when it is 2 shots for the incoming player, the table remains open after the free shot. The shot that Caesar has just played, the big miss, was supposed to be a table closing shot. Ibra is free to play reds. Ibra is free to play yellows. He is in fact free to play yellow and pot red as much as he's free to play red and pot yellow. In so doing, he will have closed the table, playing the color of balls that he will have potted. Advantage here, Ibra. You are watching the first of the trilogy of matches. 3 series of sessions between Ibrahim Ssejjemba and Ssejjemba Chandiga here at Climax Bar in Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. A match organized by the Advanced Talent Agency as a start of the ATA revolution in African pool, a move that is intended to enhance and better the lives of pool players and other sportsmen by allowing their fans who normally enjoy their talents on the internet to watch for a pay which is also cheap for the viewers, affordable for the viewers, although it takes very expensive production of these videos, by the way. But in result, the big beneficiary is the player himself. And if you are watching from any of the African countries where this sport is played at a competitive level, if you are watching from South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, Namibia, Malawi, Kenya, Tanzania, South Sudan, Rwanda, Ethiopia, the ATA is coming. Your players stand a chance to be benefactors. Once again, Ssejjemba Chandiga 6, Ibrahim Ssejjemba 3. After this frame, after this ongoing frame, the players will be free to have a 3-minute timeout as guided by the regulations of this match. They are free to have a timeout. If it is called by one, the other has no right to protest. But they are also free to proceed with the play after this frame. Frame number 10, Ibrahim Ssejjemba on the red. He's not having his groove on. Sometimes he misses in disbelief. Of the two players, he's the one that needs the timeout more badly to try and talk to his management team, his manager, on what they will assess as having gone wrong ever since he did lead 3-1. It is now 6-3, 5 games in a row. Dangerously 5 games lost in a row against Ssejjemba. Is not healthy playing. Even a game where Ssejjemba failed to close the table, I would rather say recklessly, Ibrahim Ssejjemba has not come up to punish him enough as he would have. The idea is for Ssejjemba to play the yellow ball against the cushion, white ball bouncing off to open the 2 other yellows. In so doing, he gets the target wrong. And Ibra has a chance again. And if you are a neutral fan, a neutral lover of the game, you'll probably want Ibra to win this frame, such that after the timeout, the lead is not as big if you are a neutral. And of course, if you are an Ibra fan. If you are a Ssejjemba fan, most definitely you want to be loving Ssejjemba to extend his lead. Most especially a fan like Rachel Mbewe supporting from Colorado. And it is on the replay that the miss of these players, when it is a miss, becomes too real, like you've just seen momentarily ago. Bank shot, a very important and critical bank shot by Ibra. And there is no reason as to why he cannot finish off this red game. Try to usher us into the first time out of the match, with him having won the last frame. And how about that? Little shots. Potting the red ball diagonally to the corner pocket. White ball opening up the second red, which was frozen against the cushion at the center pocket. It is too much pull in a very little moment of brilliance. It is now Ibra's game for the taking. This one, his only problem is controlling the white ball, putting the red ball to the center pocket, the one closest to your screen. Right now, in this very beautiful area view of the table, where about 90% of the table is covered up by 90% of the screen is covered up by the table. How and 90% of the management of Ibra's right, in my opinion, Ibra's white was managed right. He will have a sharp cut of the red ball to do to the corner pocket, most likely the one now on the left. He goes for the one on the right. he gets the shot right. And maybe a chance to win the fourth. But it is a chance that he must utilize appropriately. And yet, unfortunately, it is not the exact kind of white ball that he will be celebrating. A very sharp cut of the black ball is a little bit possible, but not so likely. From where you see the white ball, a very sharp cut of the black ball to the corner pocket. That was the shot. And I will call it a beauty of a shot. Maybe black direct, maybe using scissors yellow as support to guide the black rightwards or leftwards. Maybe play safe, play black to play the yellow towards the cushion. It's another option. He just decided to play safe, leave the black ball behind the scissors yellow. I'm not so sure that shot is safe enough because it leaves the player with the more balls, in which case scissor with 4 yellows as the player in control of the frame. I want to believe that Ibra may have lost the opportunity to win a fourth before halftime. And this is a plays a defensive safety snooker, as if daring Ibra to try and foul and then lose a 7th before halftime or before first time break. Ibra, in my opinion, played yellow first. From my viewing area, which is your exact viewing area, I'm not so sure of the ruling of the umpire. But given how the fact that Caesar did play the yellow ball he has just played and did put it, meaning that whether or not it were 2 visits or 1 would mean 1 and the same. Now this is where the frame will be won or lost. Caesar potting, white ball bouncing off the cushion, moving the width of the table. He didn't even need to play that top spin. He played the white ball backwards and yet moved the white ball in the right way. Maybe to pot yellow and black to the same pocket. He gets his target wrong. Unfortunately for Ibra, I don't think he will be happy with the fact that white ball is frozen against the cushion. It makes potting a little bit more difficult. Nonetheless, he will try either to the center pocket, direct, or in a bank shot, in a double shot. Something that he can do, but something that is not obvious. There he goes for the bank shot. Not at all. A little bit of a nervous face. I did watch from the little magician when he was taking that shot. Maybe he's starting to get worried. Maybe he's starting to have the fear of the unknown. For Caesar, that won't matter. He is in for the victory. He is also in for the money, the 2,000 US dollars. And makes it 7-3. And rightly, as Ibra would do, with or without advice or with the advice of his management team, Ibra is granted the first time out of the match rightly after 10 frames. It is Caesar Chandiga 7 and Ibrahim Ssejjemba 3.